After her expression of scorn, the princess picked up the sharp horn from the poor deceased unicorn. She did not lament its death. Regarding life as a foolish game, she pinned on Dax her own shame. She did force upon Dax the blame for the last unicorn's death. The unicorn had been tame, now it was out of breath. Mirabel had brought it death.
Filled with self-importance and pride, she left her room to go outside. To those assembled, King Shub lied, "For our great loss we do mourn. This straw man represents Prince Dax. He cannot harm you, so relax. In effigy we will burn Dax, for he has earned our scorn." The other kingdom now attacks, for Dax has killed the unicorn. Here is its magical horn. Princess Mirabel, standing proud, looked down upon the angry crowd. They were obnoxious and quite loud. They gobbled up the king's lives. To be deceived they did desire. The fate of people fooled is dire. King Shub lit the straw man on fire. Smoke from the burning man did rise, and the flames burned high and higher. But to everyone's surprise, it came to life before their eyes. The princess, so full of scorn, had inadvertently waved the horn from the magical unicorn. How magic worked, no one could say. Would the loud, crude crowd stay or run? He stood there before everyone, smoking much like a fired gun, and brighter than a brilliant ray of the fiery yellow sun during the middle of the day. Then the burning man walked away. Perhaps it was his dire fate to burn with the people's hate. He walked through the garden gate. To enter the garden he did dare. Princess Mirabel, cold and cruel, left her reflection in the pool, in the water so clear and cool. Yes, her reflection was still there. Her reflection was in the pool. The man of fire did stop and stare. They made an interesting pair. She spoke. "Why do you burn, man of fire? Are you inflamed with burning desire? Is your situation dire? Is your life filled with pain and strife? Like a shooting star in its flight, you are now burning oh so bright. You do bathe me in a glowing light. You certainly light up my life. You are a fascinating sight. Why do you burn away your life? Do you desire me for your wife?" The burning man did seem quite fond of the reflection in the pond. To her questions he did respond, "Yes, I have a burning desire. Perhaps you are the one to blame, for you do set my blood aflame, playing with my heart in a game. My eyes burn with a fierce fire. I became an eternal flame. My fire will never expire unless met with your desire." She said, "I do not want to miss the unforgettable bliss of your passionate, burning kiss, for I do love you very much. Should we love each other to death? Should we kiss until out of breath? Perhaps there is peace in death. Each other we eagerly can clutch. Bound together we will breathe one breath. Your kiss I do miss so much, as to let our lips now touch." For each other they did yearn, with deep desire they did burn. They kissed, then into steam they did turn. They held each other so near, like snow so ice cold, and white meeting fire so hot and bright. Two breaths of windy night became as one, then did disappear. It was a strange, amazing sight. They had held each other so dear. They lived and died without fear. The garden had been lush and green. It was more vibrant and serene than I had ever seen. Now birds and the bees had all fled, that place of love and of leisure. It was a timeless treasure with worth beyond all measure. But now it was completely dead, and no longer a place of pleasure. Gone were the fragrant roses red, the reddest the earth had ever bled. Down in the dungeon, a dark place, banished from Mirabel's fair face, Dax suffered deeply in disgrace, restrained by a heavy chain. Their society did condone torture to make prisoners groan. In pain, prisoners did all moan, every moment filled with stress and strain, sometimes too hot or chilled to the bone. In the dungeon, tears fell like rain. Each prisoner knew much pain. Locked in a cell with stones of grey, he was kept from the light of day. In his deep sorrow, Dax did say, "Loneliness keeps me company. Emptiness is everywhere with more sorrow than I can bear. My situation is not fair. A heavy sadness surrounds me, and it does tempt me to despair and end my life of misery, for I am unable to flee. Too tired to sleep for sorrow and tortured until tomorrow, there is no hope I can borrow. I push against stones that do not move. In the darkness, I sit alone. In this land, I remain unknown, while a tyrant sits upon a throne." Shub looks smugly down from above. "From this cold dungeon of stone, I want to fly away like a dove, letting loneliness lead to love." Another dark and dismal day is painfully wasted away. Surrounded by cold stones of grey, I am hurting every hour. I lift my weak hand to clear from my sad face each salty tear, irritating tears that do sear. Here I have no hope or power. I fear I've lost my love so dear. I wish I had a flower for my love in her tower. Then entered a man with hair red. Red as from blood upon his head. He filled sad, fearful Dax with dread. Blood was dripping from each hand. His features were as hard as flint. In his eyes was a hateful glint. He muttered words unfit to print. Before Dax, the large man did stand. I concluded from every hint he was a torturer of the land, a proud man, glorious and grand. On his face was a permanent scowl. The game of life he played most foul. "Hello," the fellow did howl. He had a sinister-looking face. Despite a persona which is fake, the moral choices people make by the commandments that they break may seem clearly in each face. Down the crooked wrong paths they take, they follow vices. They chase vices to their own disgrace. In that dungeon with stones of grey, the torturer sneered and did say, "Dax, how are you doing today?" On a wooden plank bed Dax did sit. No words can ever express my misery and deep distress. "Orgo, will you torture me thus? Torture is wrong. Why do you not quit? You cause me anxiety and stress. Why is it me that you do hit? My food would make a goat vomit." Orgo, the tormentor, did say, "I am here to take hope away. You have next to none left today. Too bad you did not like your meal. Much more weight is what you must gain. You have experienced much strain. As a gifted student of pain, you have wounds that will never heal. and your teardrops will fall like rain. He tied Dax from head to heel to a water torture wheel. Dax was pressed against each spoke. The situation was no joke. Orgo turned the wheel as he spoke. The wheel has been set in motion. Since my goal is financial gain, I will not resist or refrain from turning this cycle of pain. Dax, I do have the notion it must be hard to stand the strain without being moved with emotion while drowning in an ocean. Orgo smiled a sadistic grin. Out of control, your life to spin. There is no way for you to win. Your deep sorrow you cannot hide, even if in half your heart were cleft. You have no hope at all left. You are running out of breath. You must be hurt on the inside. Dax, just perhaps life and death are partners walking side by side in a circle that is worldwide. In a trough of water dipped his head. If left upside down, Dax would be dead. When turned upright, gasping, he said, I know that death is always near. Perhaps we are all doomed to die. Shub spins a tangled web of lies. We are all caught in it like flies. Let the cycle of lies end here. Too afraid to even ask why, our liberties that we hold dear are lost in a war of fear. Dax was released from the torture wheel. He was hurt. Would he ever heal and forget the pain that he did feel? His eyes were deep pools of pain. After striking Dax in the head with his clenched fists until Dax bled, Orgo the tormentor then said, Your red blood would leave a stain long after you are dead. Proof of your death would remain, but this stone floor has a drain. Soon it will be your time to die. In your early grave you will lie. When you are gone, no one will cry. This is a society of death. You seem to be in a trance. Someone ruined your romance. To live, you do not have a chance. Yes, you truly have nothing left. I will cut you open and dance in the red river of your death, taking away your last breath. You have a mirror so you can see how you have become thin and sickly, and remember the man you used to be. Life has slowly passed you by. To lose your life you now do fear. Let me make this perfectly clear. No one ever escapes from here. It is pointless to even try. You can keep this small candle near. Search for your true self as you sigh. When it goes out, you will die.